please begin just by lying down on your back and have the legs stretched out, if that's comfortable, on your lower back, with your arms just comfortably down by your side. And then please just roll the head a little bit from one side to the other, just letting the eyes lead the way as you're looking around your room. Check the jaw is nice and relaxed. And then please come to centre and bring your attention to your right foot and begin just to gently point and flex the right foot. So just pointing and flexing. When you point, you send the toes away. When you flex, you send the heel away from you. And if you keep the heel just slightly digging in all the time into your mat, you'll feel how this creates a push and pull through the spine. Good. And then pause, bring your attention to your left foot and begin just to gently point and flex the left foot. Again, keeping the heel just slightly digging into your mat so you get that traction action going through the spine. And then pause, bring your attention to both feet and begin to make some circles in space with the big toes. But again, just keep the heel, if you can, slightly digging into the mat so the movement travels all the way through the spine. And then just reverse these circles, still thinking of the big toes side of the foot leading the movement. And then pause and transfer your intention to the little toe side of the feet. And then again, just begin to make some generous circles in space with the little toe side of the foot. And then just reverse the direction of these circles. Good. And then pause, bring your feet onto the centre of the back of the heel, so the toes are pointing directly up to the ceiling, and then just try to curl the toes under and then spreading them apart. So you want to keep a sort of a standing foot, so you're not pointing this time, you're just curling the toes under, and as you release them, think of creating space between all 10 toes, and then once more curl them under, and then think of spreading them apart, and one more time curling under and then spreading apart. And then just see if you can stay on the centre of the back of the heel but show the soles of the feet towards each other and away from each other. So towards each other and away from each other, and then once more towards each other and away from each other. And then pause, bring both feet to standing, so feet and knees about shoulder width apart or hip distance apart, certainly. And then with the arms just comfortably by the side, imagine once more you're lying on this clock where 12 o'clock is towards the head and 6 o'clock is towards the feet. Could you press into both feet to roll the pelvis to 12 o'clock towards the head? And then think of releasing the feet as if you're about to pick them up in the air but not actually lifting them to help arch the back. And then again just gently press down into both feet to bring the lower back towards the floor, and then you think of the feet becoming light to help arch the lower back. So just once more like that, pressing down into both feet evenly to roll the pelvis to 12 o'clock. And then you think of the feet becoming light to go to 6 o'clock. And then come to a place that's more or less in between, so neither 12 nor 6 o'clock. And then think of let's make the right hip 3 o'clock and the left hip 9 o'clock. Could you roll the pelvis to 3 o'clock to the right and 9 o'clock to the left? And you can still use the feet to help you do this. So if I press into the right foot, it will help roll the pelvis to 9 o'clock. If I press into the left foot, it will help roll the pelvis to the right to 3 o'clock. And if you're using the feet to help you do this, just try and keep the knee more or less looking towards the ceiling. So the action in the pelvis is rather like in walking. Good. Now pause. And then please lengthen your left leg, so keep the right leg bent up. Careful that the right foot isn't too close to the left leg. And with your arms just comfortably by the side, begin this movement of pressing down into the right foot so as to roll the pelvis to the left, but kind of towards the left shoulder, and then you let the pelvis roll all the way back down, release the effort, and then again just press into the foot to roll the pelvis towards the left shoulder, still keeping the knee looking towards the ceiling, and once more just pressing into the left foot to roll, sorry, the right foot to roll the pelvis to the left. Good. Now pause, and then please change legs around. So bring your left leg to standing, have the right leg long, and then begin to press into the left foot to roll the pelvis not just to the right but towards the right shoulder. So you might just need to pull in the tummy a little bit more actively to really help you get that direction of the pelvis rolling towards the right shoulder and the ribs on the right. Good. Now pause, leave that alone, and change legs once more. So it's your right leg bent up, your left leg is long, and then bring your arms in front of you, the palms together, pointing directly up towards the ceiling. So you form a triangle with your arms, and the hands should be above the chest rather than above the face, so just directly above the breastbone. And then begin to take your triangle to the left, turning the head and eyes to the left too, pressing into the right foot to help you take the arms a little bit further maybe, and then you come back all the way onto the back. Now the important thing about this triangle as you take the arms again to the left is that you keep the shape of the triangle. So in other words, it's not one arm sliding relative to the other, and there'll be a temptation to particularly bend the left arm as you go to the left. So see if you can keep both arms equally long as you again press into the foot to help you direct the arms to the floor on the left. Good. Now pause, and then the next time you take the arms to the left, try to stay looking at the ceiling with the head and eyes. So in fact it's as if you're looking over the right shoulder, as if you wanted to see the right foot. So again, you take the arms to the left, try to stay looking at the ceiling as you press into the foot to help you take the arms, and once more like this. So you take the arms to the left, keep the head and eyes looking towards the ceiling, and then release. And then the next time, roll the head and eyes to the left too. So we've just been differentiating the head and neck from the chest. See if that helps with taking the arms again to the left. Just nice, easy breathing, and then come back. Just rest the arms down by your side for a moment, and then change legs around. So it's the left leg bent up, the right leg is long, and then once more form your triangle again with your hands. So it's the palms are as if praying, and the hands are above the chest, and begin to take your triangle now to the right, turning the head and eyes to, pressing into the left foot to help you take the arms further, and then you come back to centre. And again, take the arms to the right, turn the head and eyes, press into the left foot, keep the jaw nice and relaxed, the breath nice and easy, and then one more time like this. So turning the head with the arms, keeping the right arm as long as the left, and then come back. And the next 3 or 4, keep the head and eyes looking at the ceiling if you can. So you turn the chest, you take the arms to the right, press into the left foot, but try to stay looking at the ceiling or over your left shoulder, and keeping the jaw nice and relaxed. So just do 2 more in your own time, keeping the head and eyes looking towards the ceiling. And then after you've done that, then return to looking to the right too, with the arms as they go to the right, and then come back, and just do 1 more like that. Nice easy breathing. Good. and then come back to centre. Just bring the arms comfortably down by the side, and then fold your right knee in towards the chest. Take hold of it with the left hand. Bring the right hand behind the back of the head. Now take a good breath in, so breathe into the tummy and into the chest. As you exhale, try and bring the elbow and the knee towards each other and flex through the foot at the same time. Good. Sorry, I just had to do something on the computer. So have your, it's the left hand on the right knee, the right hand is behind the back of the head. Take a good breath in. As you exhale, fold the elbow and the knee towards each other. Inhale to release back down. Just going to do one more, so take a breath in. Exhale, fold the elbow and the knee towards each other. Inhale to release back down. Now change legs, so keep the right hand behind the head, but have the left hand on the left knee. Again, take your time to do this, so always begin with a good breath in. As you exhale, try and fold the elbow and the knee towards each other, and you can flex through the left foot as well to help you do that. And two more, so again, you take a breath in, exhale, fold the elbow and the knee towards each other, inhale to release back down, and then one more time, take a good breath in, exhale, fold, inhale to release back down. Now change arms, so it's your left hand behind the head, right hand comes onto the left knee. Take a good breath in to prepare. Exhale, fold the elbow and the knee towards each other. Inhale to release back down. We're just warming up all the tummy muscles, so take a breath in. Exhale, fold, flexing through the foot. Inhale to release, and then one more time, take a good breath in. Exhale, fold the elbow and the knee towards each other. Inhale to release back down. Now pause and just change legs. So it's the left hand behind the head, right hand is on the knee. Take a good breath in. Exhale, fold towards each other. Inhale to release back down. Just got two more to do. Take a good breath in. Exhale, fold the elbow and the knee towards each other. Inhale to release back down. And then last time like this, take a good breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale to release back down. Good. Now pause, just bring the legs and arms down by the side, and then bring both legs in towards the chest. Wrap the left forearm behind the backs of the thighs. Bring the right hand behind the back of the head. And again, you'll just notice how this creates an asymmetry. The left side is shorter than the right, so don't worry about that, it's part of the exercise. So now take a good breath in. As you exhale, think of sliding your feet up an imaginary wall as you lift the head and shoulders to look at the tummy, and then you inhale to release back down. So again, take a good breath in to prepare. As you exhale, slide the feet up an imaginary wall. As you lift the head and shoulders, inhale to release back down. The idea of sliding the legs up the wall is so that you don't bring the legs towards the head. You want to keep them aligned as they are. Inhale to release back down. Let's just do one more for luck. So take a breath in. That's it. So by thinking of the legs sliding up a wall as you lift the head, it really means that these middle abdominals get engaged and your middle back releases down to the floor. Now pause and then just change the arms around. So it's the right forearm behind the backs of the legs. The left hand is behind the back of the head. Take a good breath in. As you exhale, think of sliding the feet up that wall as you lift the head and look at the tummy, not at the knees. Inhale to release back down. Got to do three more just to make sure we're even, so take a breath in. I'm feeling those middle tummy muscles working for sure now. Inhale to release back down. I've just got two more to do, so take a breath in. Exhale, lift up. Inhale to release back down. And then last time, take a good breath in. Exhale, fold up. And then inhale to release back down. Just bring both feet back down onto the mat. Have your arms just comfortably by your side. So feet and knees are shoulder width apart, arms just comfortably by your side. And then bring your attention to your right shoulder and begin to slide that shoulder all the way up to the right ear if you can. And then think of sliding it away from the ear as if you're reaching with the right hand towards the right foot. So you think of just drawing the shoulder up to the ear, and as you slide it away, try to slide it down the mat. So in other words, it's as if it's sliding down the back, the shoulder towards the right back pocket, and then you bring the shoulder back up towards the ear and think of sliding the shoulder down on the mat towards the back pocket, and then release. And now do the same with the left shoulder. So first of all, you bring it up to the ear, and then you slide the shoulder away from the ear as if you're trying to leave a trace on the mat. So you bring the shoulder up to the ear, and then you think of sliding it away from the ear, and then once more folding it, sliding it up to the ear, and then away from the ear. And now we've done both individually. Let's combine the two. So as the right shoulder slides up to the ear, the left slides away, and then vice versa. And you'll begin to feel, if you keep the head and eyes more or less in the middle, it brings some very lovely movement into the base of the neck. And you can also perhaps feel how the ribs are softening on one side and then the other. The chest is part of this movement. Good. Now pause, and then please cross your right leg over the left. Just have the arms comfortably by your side for a moment, and then begin to tilt the knees to the right as you breathe in. Exhale, pull in the tummy to bring the legs back to center. So as the knees tilt to the right, you breathe in. Exhale, pull in the tummy to come back to center. As the knees tilt to the right, keep your left shoulder heavy, and then exhale, come back. So in other words, we're not just rolling onto the side, we're creating a twist through the spine, through the movement of the legs and the pelvis, and then exhale, come back. Now, the next time your knees are just comfortably tilted to the right, pause there, bring your attention to your left arm and shoulder, and again begin to slide the shoulder up to the ear and then slide it away from the ear. So you slide the shoulder up to the ear, keeping the legs slightly tilted to the side, and then slide the shoulder away from the ear. And see if you can really feel it, particularly as you slide the shoulder away from the ear, how those ribs on the left hand side come closer together. Good. Now pause, bring the legs back to center, and then change the cross of the legs. So left leg is crossed over right, cross of the thighs, and first of all, with both arms by the side, begin to tilt the legs to the left. Exhale, pull in the tummy as you bring the legs back to center. So you can start with a small movement, just tilting the legs to the left. Exhale, pull in the tummy to come back to center. And you're only tilting the legs as far as you can keep that right shoulder down. Exhale, come back to center. And now the next time the legs are tilted to the left, just some way you can hold them without strain. Pause there, bring your attention to your right arm and right shoulder, and begin to slide that shoulder towards the ear and away from the ear. So again, towards the ear, away from the ear, towards the ear and away from the ear. Just feel how those ribs, those lovely ribs on the right hand side, can concertina together to help you reach that shoulder and arm away from you, and then come back. Just bring the legs back to center, uncross the legs, Good. And then once more, cross your right leg over the left. So right leg crossed over the left. And just tilt your knees to the right again, just somewhere you can hold the knees without strain. And then bring your right hand behind the back of the head. Right hand behind the back of the head. And then think, as you're keeping the knees just slightly tilted to the right, see if you can lift your head and shoulders to look at your left hand, which is down by your side, and think of just sliding that hand a little bit further away from you on the mat, and then release back down. So you keep the knees slightly tilted, you take a breath in. As you exhale, use the right arm to help you lift the head, as you just think of sliding that left arm towards the feet, and then come back down. And then one more time like this, you take a breath in. As you exhale, fold up. You'll feel, these ribs, how they go down into the floor, really engaging some of those abdominal muscles. Inhale to release back down. Now just bring the legs back to centre, bring the arms back down by your side, and then cross your left leg over the right. Tilt the legs to your comfortable left. Again, they don't have to go far, just to your comfortable left. Bring the left hand behind the back of the head. Now take a breath in. As you exhale, try and lift the head and shoulders as if you wanted to see your right hand, which is down by the side, and then inhale to release back down. And we're just going to do two more, so take a breath in. Exhale, lift as you think of just sliding the right hand towards the feet. Inhale to release back down. And then one more time, take a good breath in. Exhale, fold up. And then inhale to release back down. Just bring the arms back down by the side. Bring the legs back to centre. And then please roll to the side and come up onto all fours for some cat stretches. So, some nice movement in the ribs there. So have the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips in this tabletop position, and just be careful that you're not sinking between the shoulder blades. So to help correct that, you really want to think of reaching down through the arms, particularly through the little finger side of the arms, just to help wrap the shoulder blades around the ribs. Now take a breath in. As you breathe out, release the head, let it go down. As you look underneath yourself, lift the ribs towards the back to round the back. Now inhale to hold, and then exhale, begin to point the tailbone towards the ceiling as you come into a gentle extension. So once more, you take a breath in, exhale, release the head, keep the shoulders away from the ears, pull in the ribs, pull in the tummy, inhale, and then exhale, reverse. Now just point the fingers towards each other. You create a little ring with the arms, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. Now take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, pull in the tummy, pull in the ribs, but let the head be heavy. Inhale, and then exhale, reverse into an extension. And then one more time, take a good breath in. Exhale, release the head and shoulders, round the back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then reverse. Now just point the fingers to the outside this time. Again, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Take a breath in. Exhale, let the head go as you press down into the hands to round the back. Inhale, and then exhale, reverse. And just got one more to do in this hand position. Take a breath in. Exhale, blow the air out, release the head. Good. Inhale, and then exhale, reverse. Now just come down onto the forearms for a second. Keep the elbows underneath the shoulders rather than letting them flare out to the side. Check that your thighs are vertical, that they're not slanting back towards the heels. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, let the head go. Try to brush the floor with the crown of the head as you round the back towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale, reverse. Let's just do one more. Take a good breath in. exhale, round up, release the head, inhale, and then exhale, reverse. Now just come up onto all fours once more, take a breath in, and as you exhale, imagine I've got hold of your pelvis and I'm lifting you, rounding your back towards the heels, and then begin to look forward with the head and eyes. The breastbone follows the head and eyes to bring you back into this tabletop position, and then again you're being lifted, imagine, by your pelvis up and back towards the heels, and then begin to look forward again, look forward to come forward onto all fours. Good. Now just walk the hands back to see if you can sit back on the heels, or wherever you can get to is fine. And then bring the hands forward, curl the toes under, and then again just see if you can sit back on the heels. So strong stretch for the plantar side of the foot, the toes, that's it, just go to where you can comfortably go. And then once more just point the toes, allow the bottom to go back towards the heels again to stretch out the front of the foot, and then come forward, curl the toes under, and again just, if you can, just sit the bottom back on the heels to enjoy that lovely stretch for the toes. And then come forward, point the fingers towards each other once more. You take a breath in. As you exhale, slide the right hand away from you to the left on the floor as you look towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale, come back. And then to the other side, so you take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, slide that left hand away from you. Good. Inhale, and then exhale, come back. Just have one more to do each side. So take a breath in. Exhale, reach that right arm all the way away from you, as if you're looking for the Malteser underneath the settee. And then exhale, come back. And then last time, take a good breath in. Exhale, slide that left arm away from you. Inhale, and then come back. So please leave that alone and come and lie down on your back again with your legs bent up. So just going to do some of these spinal curls, peeling up off the mat. Just have your arms comfortably by your side. Good. And then take a good breath in. As you breathe out, press the feet down into the floor to begin to peel your spine up off the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Now, just be careful you're not pushing the ribs up towards the ceiling and turning this into a bridge. Inhale, and then exhale, peel the spine back down, one vertebrae after the other, till your lower back lands in that 12 o'clock position, and then you release into neutral. So again, take a good breath in. As you blow the air out, exhale, press into both feet evenly. So you initiate that 12 o'clock position, and then you keep that as you come up. So you're creating a hammock for the abdominal organs rather than pushing them up towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then as you exhale, peel all the way back down to the lower back lands, and then you release into neutral. Now let's just challenge this by taking the arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Take a good breath in to prepare. Keep the hands and wrists off. As you exhale again, press actively into both feet to initiate that 12 o'clock position, and you want to keep that as you peel up. Now as you inhale, don't pop the ribs up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, soften, try to bring your spine down, one vertebrae after the other till the lower back lands, and you release into neutral. Let's just do one more. Take a good breath in. As you exhale, fold up, peel all the way up towards the shoulders. Inhale, and then exhale, peel all the way back down and release. Just bring the arms back down by the side for a moment and just roll the head and eyes again, just nice and lazily from one side to the other. And then pause in the centre. Imagine you have a pencil on the tip of your nose, and you're just going to draw a tiny infinity sign or figure 8 lying on its side on the ceiling. So I really can't stress enough, it's not a big movement. We're just trying to release some of those suboccipital muscles, important postural muscles that often get very short and tight, and then just reverse the direction of your figure 8 or infinity sign. They often get short because of computers, etc., driving, good, and then release. Now, pause, bring the arms back up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Again, you want long arms and soft hands and wrists. If you hyperextend in the elbows, and you know that, think of bending your arms to create a little ring with the arms effectively. Now inhale, reach the shoulders up towards the ceiling. So you're reaching the arms, but it's the shoulders that are pushing the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, drop the shoulders back into the mat. So again, you think of your shoulders rounding forward to lift the arms. Exhale, drop the shoulders back into the mat. And once more, think of your shoulders separating away from the spine. They're wrapping around the chest to help lift the arms. Exhale, drop the shoulders back into the floor. Now pause, turn the palms towards the knees. Take a good breath in. As you exhale, scissor one arm overhead and the other down by the hips. And then inhale, come back to center. Now as you scissor the arms, it's very easy to let the ribs push up. So see if you can keep the ribs connected in the front of the body. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, scissor the arms, but don't let this turn into a back bend. Inhale, come back. And then once more, scissor the arms, but keep the back heavy. Inhale, come back. And now both arms together. Again, can you keep the ribs knitted together at the front of the body as you reach the arms overhead, all the way down by the hips, and then inhale to the top. And then exhale, overhead, all the way around, inhale to the top. And then one more time like this, reach overhead, but keep the back down, and then inhale to the top. And now we reverse the direction of the circles, so come down by the hips, reach all the way around, inhale to the top, and then two more like this, down by the hips, all the way around, inhale to the top, and then last time, down by the hips, all the way around, inhale to the top. Good. Now pause, and then please come to lie on your, so for me it's the left hand side that's facing the screen, and I just got a little pad underneath my head just to give me a bit of support there. Left arm is just stretched out in front of you, your underneath arm is stretched out in front of you, and you want to have both knees on top of each other, both feet on top of each other. Good. Now just have your right arm resting on the side. Right arm is just resting on the side, and I have the arm bent. You can do this with the arm long on the side, but I like to do it with the arm bent. But if you do have a bent arm, just be careful that your elbow isn't behind you and the shoulder forward. So can you keep the elbow in line with the shoulder or slightly in front of it? So good. So now begin to take your right shoulder back in space and turn the head and eyes as you do that to look towards the ceiling, and then come back onto the side. So you think of the right shoulder just going back in space as you turn the head and eyes to look towards the ceiling, and then inhale, come back onto the side. Now allow your right knee just to slide back a little bit as you take the right shoulder back and turn the head and eyes to look towards the ceiling, and then come back onto the side. Just do one more like that. So effectively, to take the shoulder back, the chest is turning, the head and eyes are turning, and the pelvis is moving back slightly to create this lovely twist through the spine. Good. Now pause, And then the next time you take the shoulder back, keep the head and eyes looking at your left hand, and instead of turning the head, slide the head back on your mat as you take the shoulder back. Good. And then come back onto the side. So you take the shoulder back, but keep the head and eyes looking at your left hand, and try and slide that head back as you take the shoulder back and then come back. So in other words, it's actually the chest, isn't it, that's carrying the head back, rather than shortening in the back of the neck as you take the shoulder back, and that's it. Now the next time, see if you can combine taking the shoulder back and sliding the head and turning it to look towards the ceiling at the same time, and then you come back. So really, this is all being done in the spine and the chest. So you, as you take the shoulder back, you slide and turn the head, and then come back. And let's just do one more like this. So as you take the shoulder back, you slide and turn the head. So a big, powerful twist for the spine. Good. Now pause on the side, and then bring your attention to your right foot, and begin to, keeping the knees together, lift the right heel and then lower it back down. So just lifting and lowering the right heel, keeping the toes together. So just lifting and lowering. Good. Now pause, keep the heels of the 2 feet together, but just try to lift the right toes towards the ceiling, away from the left toes. So just lifting and lowering, and you'll feel there's a rotation happening in the lower leg. It's not a big movement, but there is an important movement that happens there. And now alternate, lifting once the heel and then the toes, heel and then toes, heel and then toes. Good. And now pause. Bring your right hand onto the side of the pelvis. Right hand onto the side of the pelvis, just to give you some information. And now begin to lift the right foot, the whole of the right foot away from the left one, keeping the knees together, and then lowering it back down. So you're lifting the right foot away from the left one, and you'll notice how the thigh bone, it's internally rotating as you lift the foot. So, and with your right hand, just see, can you feel that what happens with the pelvis if you let it? It's as if the pelvis is just being hitched up in the direction of the head to help lift and lower the foot. See if you could just encourage that movement of the pelvis as you lift and lower the foot. Good. Now pause, let the right hand go, and come to rest on the side. And now keep the feet together. Can you lift the right knee away from the left, and then bring it back down? And as you lift and lower the right knee away from the left, keeping the feet together, can you feel that what happens this time is the pelvis, the right side of the pelvis, moves back and away from you to facilitate the lifting of the knee. If you try and keep the pelvis absolutely rigid, which is what some Pilates teachers method they do, it means the leg becomes heavy. So rather than making the leg heavy, let's make it as light as possible by allowing the pelvis to move back and away from you, and then release. And now alternate, lifting the foot, letting the pelvis move forward and up, put the foot down and lift the knee. So putting the knee down, lifting the foot, putting the foot down and lift the knee. And you'll feel as the knee lifts, oh, there's this lovely lengthening of the whole of the right side. Good. Now pause, and then please come to lie on your other side. So have the left arm just resting on the side to begin with, and just see if you can take the shoulder back, turning the head and eyes towards the ceiling, and then you come back onto the side. So the shoulder, careful the elbow isn't going first and the shoulder following. Think of the chest turning to take the shoulder back as you turn the head and eyes, and then come back. So the chest turns to take the shoulder back as you turn the head and eyes, and then come back. And then the next time, keep the head and eyes looking at your right hand, and as you take the shoulder back, just slide the head back on the mat, or allow it to travel back on the mat, and then come back onto the side. So you just have to be careful as you take the head back that you're not trying to do it by shortening in the neck. It's actually, you're just keeping the head on top of the spine, and it's your spine between the shoulder blades that's actually moving back, isn't it, as the chest turns and the shoulder goes back. And then the next time, combine sliding and turning the head. So just creating a big twist in the spine and come back, and then one more time like that. Good. And then come back. Now just pause on the side, bring your attention to your left foot, and begin to alternate, lifting once the heel and then the toes. So you keep the knees together, lifting the heel and then the toes. And I don't know about you guys, but I can certainly feel this echoing in my hip. There's a little corresponding movement of the femur, a movement in the ball and socket joint of the hip, just by thinking of moving the foot. Now pause, and then begin to lift the whole of the foot, keeping the knees together, letting the pelvis roll forward and up, and then bring the foot down and lift the knee, letting the pelvis move far and back and away from you, so that you can think of initiating the lifting of the foot and then the knee from the movement of your pelvis. So it's like putting the car in gear first. Think of the pelvis, this movement of the pelvis that's facilitating the lift of the foot and then the knee. I'm afraid as we all get older, it's the trunk that gets very immobile, and we try and do everything from the limbs. So this is such a fabulous exercise for just getting us to think about, we can move from our core rather than the periphery. Good. Now please leave that alone. Use your hands to support you to come and sit facing towards the screen. Good. So have the feet and knees shoulder width apart, and the hands just somewhere comfortably beside you, but have the fingers facing forward rather than turned behind you. So, and then have the feet and knees about shoulder width apart, and then begin to tilt the knees to your right as you breathe in. Exhale, come back to center, and then tilt the knee, I'm going to mirror now, to your left, and then exhale, come back to center. As the knees tilt to the right, think of your left thigh, your left knee going to the floor just beside the right foot, and then come back. And as you go to the left, think of your right thigh reaching towards the floor just beside that left foot, and then come back. Now once more, take the knees to the right, and it will help you if you push out the tummy to that 6 o'clock position to help present that knee to the floor. And then to come back, you pull into 12 o'clock, and then to go to the other side, you push. Don't be shy about pushing out the tummy to help bring the knee to the floor. Remember what I was saying about moving from our middle, good, so you pull in the tummy to bring the legs back to center, push out the tummy to take the legs to the right. And you'll notice now how the left hand becomes a little bit light. You can lift it away from the floor. You come back and we go to the other side, to the left, push out the tummy, and then your right hand becomes light so that you could bring it over onto the floor on the left. And then to come back, bring the hands back, pull in the tummy, push out the tummy to go to the right, and bring your left hand over to the floor on the right. Good. And then come back. We're going to go to the other side, so pull in and then push out the tummy, bring the right hand over to the floor on the left. And now stay there if you can, and just notice how there's a gap between your right sit bone and the floor. So could you look down round the back to try and bring that sit bone towards the floor, and then look up, push out the tummy to look up. So you pull in the tummy as you round the back, looking down at the floor, push out the tummy to look up. Good. Again, can you feel how it's the middle, so rounding the back to look down, push out the tummy to look up, and once more round the back to look down, push out the tummy to look up. Good. Now pause, come back to centre, bring the arms back, pull in the tummy, take the knees to the other side, push out the tummy to free up the left hand, which comes over on the floor to the right, and stay there and see, just notice this gap between your left sit bone and the floor, and see, can you round the back, looking down, push out the tummy to look up. Again, looking down, rounding the back, pushing out the tummy to look up. Once more, looking down to round the back, push out the tummy to look up. Good. And then leave that alone, come back to centre. And we've just got one more variation to try. So once more, take the legs to the left, pushing out the tummy, bring the hands over the right hand over to the floor on the left. And now just see, could you lift the pelvis to present the weight to the knees, and then come back with the pelvis. So if you notice my head, you have to move the head too. Head goes forward, shoots forward to lift the pelvis, and then you let it come back down. Again, head goes forward to present to the knees, and then you come back. Good. Leave that alone, come back to the middle, pulling in the tummy, and then we'll go to the other side. So you bring the left arm over to the floor on the right. Good. And then just see, think of your head, as though you're going to give someone a headbutt who's right in front of you. Think of the head coming forward to lift the pelvis, and then you let the pelvis land back down. So again, just coming up to present on the knees, and then you come back. Good. And then one more time like this, just lifting up. Good. And then come back. Excellent. Leave that alone. Come all the way back to facing the front. So the reason I did the work on the side was really to prepare the hips for that sequence. So hopefully that was accessible to you all. Just have the feet together a comfortable distance away from you. So not a yoga pose, have the feet just comfortably far away from you, and then support yourself with your right hand to the side, and take hold of your left foot if you can with the left hand. So I've taken hold from over the top of the foot. You could also hold the big toe. You could also hold the ankle or up the shin if that's more available to you. And first of all, just sit, so you're supporting yourself on the right hand, and then just lean over to the right. Bear the weight on the right hand, and then come back to centre. So you lean over to the right, and then you come back to centre. So as you lean over to the right, notice how the left sit bone becomes light, your weight is supported on your right sit bone, and then you come back to centre. And as you lean over, try and keep your head and eyes looking forward on the horizon, not tilting the head, but keeping the head and eyes on the horizon, and then you'll come back. Just do that once more, and just notice if the ribs were an old-fashioned typewriter carriage, those ribs are moving over to the right to facilitate this movement. Good. And then come back. Good. And then just once more leaning over. And now could you lift the left foot into the air and then bring it down and come back to sitting on 2 sit bones, and lean over to the right, lift the left foot, and now see, can you bring the knee to the inside of the left elbow and then to the outside of the left elbow. Just notice I'm travelling, I'm shifting my weight to do it. If I try and stay in the middle, it's going to be very hard. So you have to shift over, and then you can lift the foot to bring the knee inside the elbow and then to the outside of the elbow. And then once more lean over, take the knee to the inside of the elbow and then to the outside of the elbow. And then on the next occasion, bring the knee to the inside the elbow. See if you can take that foot back to its own bottom, and then try to sit on 2 sit bones. So very, very difficult to sit on 2 sit bones evenly. Just see what you can do. And then come back, bring the knee to the outside of the elbow and return to 2 sit bones. Just going to try that once more. So again, lean over as much as you like, bring the knee to the inside of the elbow, see if you can take that foot back to its own bottom and come to sit up. And then the next occasion, as you bring the knee to the outside of the elbow, just see if you can bring the foot, the left foot, to the floor in front of your right shin, and just see, are there different places on the floor that you can reach? And all are good, but then some of you will be able to bring that foot to the other side of the right thigh, and if you do, press the foot down to sit up nice and tall, and then see, can you turn everything to the right, shoulders, chest, head and eyes, and then keep the chest turned, but bring the head and eyes to look over the left shoulder, so looking forward, and then just see, can you keep the head looking forward as you take the eyes back on the horizon to the right. Good. And then leave that alone and come back. So we're just going to do that to the other side. So take hold of your right foot or shin, and even have a belt around the foot, that's absolutely fine, or a sock. And first of all, just lean over to the left, but try and keep the head and eyes looking forward. So again, as we all get older, the ability to balance, it's not just in our ears, can you see, if everything in our middle is flexible and mobile, it means we can keep our head and eyes upright and then come back to centre. So again, you lean over and then come back to 2 sit bones. And then the next time you lean over, pause, can you bring the knee to the inside of the elbow and then to the outside of the elbow to come onto 2 sit bones. So you lean over, take the knee to the inside of the elbow and then to the outside of the elbow. So getting some lovely lubrication for the hip joints, to the inside and then to the outside of the elbow. And then the next time you take the knee to the inside, can you bring that foot towards its own bottom and come to sit more or less on 2 sit bones. So it's lovely side sitting, one leg internally rotated, the other leg externally rotated. And then lean over, bring the knee to the outside of the elbow, and just see, are there different places you can find on the floor? So notice as I'm reaching the foot forward, I'm letting my body come forward too, so I'm not making it as easy as possible. And then some of you will be able to bring that foot to the other side of the left thigh, press the foot down to get as tall as possible through the spine, and then turn everything to look to your left. Keep the body turned, but bring the head and eyes back to look over. I keep on saying it's my Victoria Beckham pace. Look over the right shoulder, and then just see, can you keep the head looking forward, but take the eyes back on the horizon to the left, all the way to the corner of the eyes. Good. And then leave that alone. Good. Now come up onto all fours, curl your toes under, walk the hands back towards the knees, lower the head to lift the knees and the bottom, and see if you can peel up through the spine to come up to standing. Then hopefully hips are feeling nice and worked. Just stand with the feet hip distance apart. Inhale to reach the arms long up towards the ceiling. Exhale back down, and then 2 more like this. Inhaling up and exhaling down, and then last time inhaling and exhaling down, and give yourself a clap.